Is there a secret plan to merge Jordan, Gaza, and the West Bank as part of the normalization agreement between Israel and Saudi Arabia? Michael Snyder reports, negotiations that are intended to lead to the normalization of relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia have begun, but they aren't the only parties that must agree to a potential deal. These negotiations are being conducted very quietly because they are touching on issues that are extremely sensitive, and you'll see they are not likely to learn much about the exact details of the deal that's being formulated until it is finalized. The Biden administration is brokering these peace negotiations, and one thing we do know is that there will be no normalization of relations unless Israel is willing to make major concessions regarding the Palestinians. Benjamin Netanyahu is unlikely to agree to recognize a full-blown independent Palestinian state, but another plan is being floated that could potentially be acceptable to all of the parties. The plan was initially conceived by a close confidant of Mohammed bin Salman named Ali Shibahi, and according to the plan, Jordan, Gaza, the West Bank would be merged into a single unit known as the Hashemite Kingdom of Palestine. One topic for discussion will assuredly involve the implementation of the Saudi-based Hashemite Kingdom of Palestine solution published in Al Arabiya News, June 8, 2022. Its author, Ali Shihabi, is a confidant of Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman, MBS for short, and also a member of MBS Advisory Board on NEOM, a US $500 billion megacity being built in southwestern Saudi Arabia, covering an area equal to the size of Israel. Shihabi's plan calls for the merger of Jordan, Gaza, and part of Judea and Samaria, the West Bank that is, into one territorial entity to be called the Hashemite Kingdom of Palestine. The Netanyahu government has been always deeply concerned about the security risks that an independent Palestinian state would pose, but putting the Palestinians under the umbrella of Jordan would potentially mitigate those security risks. And it's important to note that this plan has not been publicly rejected by Jordan, the PLO, or Hamas since it was first published. Shihabi's plan has not been rejected by King Abdullah of Jordan, Mahmoud Abbas, the PLO, Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas, or MBS in the 7 months since its publication. Needless to say, I'm 100% against this insidious plan, but it does not matter what I think. What matters is what the parties think, and right now they appear to be optimistic that a deal can be achieved. Just last month, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu boldly declared that we are, quote, about to witness a pivot of history, end quote. Saudi Arabia is a leader in the Arab and Islamic world. It has never formally recognized Israel since its creation of the state in 1948. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu talked up the possibility last month, claiming we're about to witness a pivot of history. That does not sound like a man that's about to make a relatively minor deal. Rather, that sounds like a man that's thinking about his legacy. And we're not likely to know all of the details of any potential agreements in advance. In recent years, Netanyahu has become a big proponent of secret negotiations. He made this quite clear during his interview with Al Arabiya TV last December. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu made that perfectly clear in his 50-minute interview on Saudi government-controlled AI Arabiya, Al Arabiya TV, 15th of December. You know, I'm sort of champion of a slight twist in what Woodrow Wilson said at the Versailles Peace Conference. He said he believed in open covenants, openly arrived at, and I believe in open covenants, secretly arrived at, or discreetly arrived at. There we will all have to have discussions about all the questions that you asked today and see how we can advance this. And if you try to sort it out in advance, you get stuck. That's what happens. I'm entirely convinced that the deal is coming, and when it's finally unveiled, it will shock the world. For now, the Palestinians are taking a cautious approach to any potential deal, and they have made a list of things they would like to see included. Transferring parts of the West Bank currently under full Israeli control, known as Area C under the 1990 Oslo Peace Accords, to the governance of the Palestinian Authority. A complete cessation of Israeli settlements growth in the West Bank. Resuming Saudi financial support to the PA, which slowed from 2016 and stopped completely 3 years ago to a tune of around $200 million per year. Reopening the U.S. consulate in Jerusalem, the diplomatic mission to the Palestinians that was shut down by President Donald Trump. Resuming U.S. brokered negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians from where they stopped under then Secretary of State John Kerry in 2014. And the Palestinians are also promising to avoid embarrassing Saudi Arabia during these negotiations. U.S. diplomats have obtained assurance from Palestinian officials they will neither publicly reject nor undermine the White House promoted normalization talks between Saudi Arabia and Israel. A diplomat from the United States Department told the media line that the Palestinian Authority has pledged not to publicly criticize any potential normalization deal with Israel to avoid embarrassing Saudi Arabia. An American official, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitive nature of the subject, indicated that the Biden administration was working closely with Saudi Arabia. They aim to develop a financial and political package intended to placate the Palestinians and prevent a response similar to that generated by the 2020 Abraham Accords, which established diplomatic ties between Israel and the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. The Saudis are very eager to reach a deal within the next year because they know a deal may not be possible if Joe Biden does not win the 2024 presidential election in the United States. And obviously, the Biden administration is motivated to moving things along quickly too because their days may be limited. But if the land of Israel is formally divided in 2024, that's going to have enormous implications for all of us. I've been warning that this was coming, but for a long time it appeared that any sort of agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians would be impossible. Unfortunately, this new plan to merge Jordan, Gaza, and the West Bank into a single entity called the Hashemite Kingdom of Palestine may provide the basis for a major breakthrough. It won't be easy, but if a way can be found to satisfy the Israelis, the Palestinians, the Saudis, and the Biden administration, 2024 could potentially be a year when the unthinkable becomes reality. And this is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss any of the latest updates. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media on Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.